Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for preseason round 3 of the manufacturer series. Let's get this started. Your first braking point is between the 100 and the 50 meter mark. You want to try to get yourself to the left as soon as you can, as that will set you up for the S's down below. It's possible to take this right-hander at full throttle, but if you need to because your car is understeery, you can ease off the throttle for just a moment. Then use this left curb to help your car navigate through this left-hander. Use the path just after the 100 meter mark as your braking point. Brake as much as you can, and the moment you turn in, you can ease off the brakes, take advantage of the curb, and carefully start to accelerate. Then use some braking power as you push the 50 meter mark and just try to stay within the inside of the track. You can either use the position of the last red sign on the left or this very specific tire mark as your braking point. Once again, take advantage of the curb, bring yourself all the way to the inside, and carefully accelerate. Then use just a little bit of braking to go through this turn and carefully accelerate your way out. Brake before you reach the black sign, and just like the last turn, just be very careful with accelerating your way out. Bring yourself to the middle, ease off the throttle for this left-hander, and then brake before you reach the 50 meter mark. You do want to be careful when you accelerate your way out of this turn, as it's easy to initiate just a little bit too much wheel spin, which can be enough for the car to lose control. Go just a little bit wide for this turn to minimize steering input. And that's pretty much it for this lap guide. Let's go ahead and talk about the strategies. For this race, you'll need to do 2 stops because you'll need to change tires twice and you'll need to refuel at some point. You want to try to find a good balance between pushing the car and fuel saving. If you push the car too much and don't fuel save at all, you'll risk having to refuel twice, which will set you back. If you fuel save too much, you risk your pace getting slower and then you are vulnerable to getting attacked by other cars. The notable section where you want to fuel save is over here, so as you approach this right-hander, you can bring your fuel map down to a leaner setting, so 4, 5, or even 6. In this case I'm doing it at 6 because you don't need all the power to go through these turns. This will make the car a little bit easier to handle, so you can also think about that. I did see myself short shifting quite a bit, so when the bar was around 50% full, or sometimes before the bar was 50% full, I would go ahead and shift. And once again, that's going to help your car fuel save, but once again, you run the risk of slowing yourself down because of that. So once again, once you approach the twistier bits of Interlagos, you can bring your fuel map to a leaner setting. Everywhere else, you can pretty much run it at fuel map 1. Also, something you're about to see is that I don't refuel in this first pit stop because I'm going to do that on the second one. Even though the game tells me, hey, you have to refuel, I'm not going to do that because in this case, I'm going to be pitting a couple laps later, so I can just hold on to refueling for a later time. If I were to refuel right now, then go out, push the car a bit too much, and have to refuel once again in the second pit stop, then I'm just slowing myself down overall. As for the tire compound and what order you should have them in, I would suggest starting with the harder tire compound, so either racing medium or racing hard tires. You'll be spending at most 5 laps with the racing hard tires, so you can decide whether you want to start with them, get them over with, or use them in your second stint. Either way, whether you use them for the first or the second stint, you're of course going to get slower times, and it's going to make you vulnerable to other cars who might be on softer tire compounds. However, because you are getting them out of the way earlier in the race or halfway through the race, you'll still be able to eventually catch up and basically attack them when you go under racing soft tires for your third and final stint. Don't forget that your car is going to be at its lightest when you're on the final stint, so that way your car will be a little easier on its tires, so your tire wear rate will be just a little bit slower and you'll be able to get faster times. So I just wanted to quickly bring up this clip. So this individual did racing hard tires into racing medium tires into racing soft tires. So in the first stint, he's going to get attacked because the individual in the GTR is running racing medium tires, and third place in the Jaguar is running racing soft tires. So obviously they're going to have an advantage over him. But once he switches to racing medium tires and eventually to racing soft tires, the tables will turn and this individual will end up having the upper hand. I think the first and the second strategies are good because you pretty much get rid of the racing hard tires when you're at the start of the race or halfway into the race, and both prioritize having racing soft tires at the end. Once again, when your car is at its lightest, so your car will go even faster than those who went on racing soft tires for their first or second stint. But once again, you just want to make sure that you find a balance between pushing the car and fuel saving, and I'm going to assume that is what this person did. He found that perfect balance, which gave him an overall faster pace, and he still only had to refuel once, which helps. And because I was fuel saving a little bit too much, that gave me just a little bit slower over pace, which eventually led to him passing me and of course getting this individual the victory. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this guide. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. Messier wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.